October is harvest time for BC's cranberry producers, and here at Creekside Cranberries in North Langley, it looks like it will be another excellent crop.
In mid-October, Ocean Spray comes out. They check the berries for their color, their bricks, which is their sugar content, and when it's suitable, they will notify us that we can start harvest.
In a previous video, we showed you how the cranberry bogs are first flooded to a shallow depth and then worked over with beating machines to remove the berries from the vines. Once the beaters have done their job, more flooding is needed before the cranberries can be collected.
Well, when the berries are amongst the cranberry vine, it's impossible to boom them and gather them up because they float freely with no obstruction, but when they're still in the vine, it's impossible to move them.
So more water is pumped into the bog until it reaches a depth of about 16 inches. After many hours of pumping, the bog starts looking like a small lake, and it's time to bring in the booms and start corralling the floating cranberries.
So when the beating in this field is finished, what we'll do is we'll raise the water back up again to a higher level so that the berries can clear the vine, and then we have floating booms that we wrap around and we pull all the berries into a circle.
By using the floating booms, a small crew is able to slowly move an entire field of cranberries.
We raise the water to a height above the vine simply so that when we pull the fruit through the field, we can move the massive weight without any resistance, because it's fairly easy to pull several 100,000 pounds of cranberries through the water with these booms, provided that the berries aren't touching the vine underneath.
They're moving the berries towards a central collection point where they've set up a submerged metal box with a large hose attached to it, and they keep the berries steadily moving towards this spot. The floating booms are designed to make moving the cranberries as easy as possible.
The booms are made out of a fairly heavy nylon, I believe, with a foam interior and a chain running along the base. This is all inside of the nylon. The chain actually acts as a weight to keep the boom vertical in the water, and the foam as well keeps the boom floating.
From here, the cranberries are pumped to a truck that will take the harvested berries to the receiving station.
To get the berries into the truck, we use a fruit pump. It's very simply a vacuum pump on one end that sucks the fruit into a tray, pulls it through the pump, and then pushes it the length of the pipe that we have set up into the trash box. The trash box separates out the leaves and weeds and broken pieces of vine, and the fruit rolls down the screen into the truck.
It takes about 3 hours of steady booming and pumping to fill up the truck, and as it gets close to full, they jump in and keep the cranberries level as they come off the conveyor. Each load will contain about 50 to 55,000 pounds of cranberries. On some cranberry farms, they position the truck close to the field and use a conveyor system to move the berries directly into the container. This is the Glen May Cranberry Farm in Langley, and they're just wrapping up the harvest on this very large bog. After the truck is full, the next step is to deliver the cranberries to the receiving station. For some of the largest producers in the Fraser Valley, this could mean hundreds of truckloads over several weeks to deliver all the berries.
All the fruit you see on the field here will go to the receiving station. The receiving station will process the fruit, where they clean the spoiled berries out. They take any leaf trash out, weed trash, sticks, all of the debris that gets shipped with the fruit.
As the trucks arrive at the Ocean Spray receiving station, they are first weighed and samples of the cranberries are taken using an overhead probe. Once the truck is in position, the valves on a series of overhead water cannons are opened up, and the water pressure quickly pushes the cranberries out of the truck and into a receiving pond. It may have taken hours to fill one of these trucks, but emptying it only takes a few minutes. Cranberries aren't turned into finished food products here. The job of the receiving station is to process the truckloads of berries arriving from the farms and get them ready for shipment to food processing plants.
They'll process it and package it, and from there it will get sent on to the end-using plant, which is either craisins or concentrate.
Commercial cranberry production in BC started in 1946 with a single 3-acre farm. Today there are over 6,500 acres of cranberries in production in the province, making it one of the largest cranberry producing regions in North America.
Cranberries are the second largest berry crop in British Columbia, the last crop to get harvested in the fall. It contributes about $56 million to the BC economy, and there's 85 farm families involved in the cranberry production in British Columbia.
With the completion of this year's harvest, producers have delivered over 90 million pounds of ripe red cranberries. They'll be used in juices, cranberry sauce, and many other cranberry products you can find at your local grocery store. This project is supported by the BC government's Buy Local program, delivered by the Investment Agriculture Foundation of BC with funding from the BC Ministry of Agriculture.